So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and today I'm joined by Phil. He plays guitar and vocals in the band Psychlona that released an album in September 27 called Warp Vision. So, we're here to talk all about it. So, first of all, Phil, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. So I know we tried to interview for a week now. We had some rescheduling. So last week you guys were on tour. So tell me about that tour that you were on.
Yeah, I mean the tour was great. And firstly, go back, it was just almost impossible for the times that we got sent a few interviews, and they were all sort of 5 p.m., 6 p.m., and it was impossible because it was loading time, sound check time, and it was
Yeah,
all
that didn't make
uh,
sense.
yeah, it was a tight schedule because there was Cyclona, Slamosa, and Greenleaf touring together, so everyone had got their set sound check times. So I asked if everything be changed. So that's why we couldn't do it sort of last week. But yeah, we're here eventually. Yeah, so the tour was awesome. We we began in London 2.5 weeks ago. From there, we moved on the next day to the Netherlands. Next day, we were into Germany to Munster, where we played at Rare Guitar. Then we joined the official tour the next day in Berlin. I think we played Berlin, Hamburg, Bielefeld, Cologne, Munich, Graz in Austria, Innsbruck, Vienna, Zagreb in Croatia, Switzerland up in Smoke Festival, and then we played Keep It Low Festival in Germany, and we played Into the Void Festival in Netherlands. So yeah, it was a busy time, busy 2 weeks. I think we had one night off, but yeah, the tour was great. It was a sold out tour. Um, Obviously, Slamosa and Greenleaf are big names in the scene, so it was great to be part of it. We played to sort of, I think, minimum sort of 500 capacity audiences every night. Then on the last night of the festival, sort of a couple of thousand. So yeah, it was really good, really good. The new album was really well received. The new stuff went down really well live. So yeah, we were all happy. A little bit tired, but yeah, happy.
I
All
bet.
good. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So the sound of Cyclona, it's you're a psychedelic stoner like rock band, and this is your fourth album, Warp Vision. And for this one, you have two new people in the band. How much did the new people change the sound from your previous record?
Well, to be honest, not a lot because the two other guys left in November, December. So we had the recording studio booked for March this year. So I'd already got 6 songs written for the album, and then the two new guys wrote a song each. So it's a similar sort of. So it's moved on a little bit. I mean, all 4 albums have moved on a little bit.
Mhm.
Obviously we don't do the same thing every time. Um, so the actual sound hasn't changed much directly because of the new guys. The next one may do because obviously there'll be more of their influences on the next one. So which was we've already sort of begun having ideas and having jams for that one. So it may be more noticeable on the next one, but I think on this one it's still definitely Cyclone. The next one will definitely be Cyclone sound, but maybe with a few twists, maybe a little bit more psychedelic. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, but the album, it's a pretty cool album. And I have a question on one of the songs. There's a song called Topanga.
Yeah.
What is that referring to a show that was called Boy Meets World?
It's actually referring to. I mean, if you look at the lyrics of that, it's about the Manson sort of family, the murders in the late '60s around the San Francisco area,
Oh,
and they actually began their, I don't know what you like to call it, began their evil mission there in a place called Topanga Canyon, which is where they first sort of got
okay.
together before they moved to the sort of Haight-Ashbury sort of area of Frisco in the '60s, and destroyed the hippie scene and etc. So yeah, that's what that one's about.
Yeah, it's quite darker. I didn't read that. I didn't have the lyrics. So I saw
Yeah, yeah,
Topanga and I thought of the show, but no, it's a quite darker,
yeah.
a quite darker theme. But you have some songs that are like pretty fun. Like you have like Let's Go, smoke, cut loose. So not all of the, maybe Topanga is one of the more serious topics, but you have songs that are like more about having fun in the record. You also have the first album, the song is called Jasmine. What's Jasmine about?
Well, Jasmine's not about anything really. Jasmine's about just a nice evening, stepping out for chilling out and smoking the fresh air, and it's a lovely sort of summer's evening. It's that's one of the few cheerful ones, to be honest. That one on Let's Go. I mean, you mentioned Cut Loose. That's
Yeah.
about pretty much about Brexit and the effect it has on us as bands when we want to tour now. Because we've got so many more hoops to jump through now to go over to Europe. We've got to get documentation for our equipment. We can be charged 20% VAT and all the gear coming back into the UK if we haven't got the correct documentation. So that's actually a bit of a heavy tune. And, the way we were sort of like lied to by the government, and everyone swallowed it, they were going to put billions into building hospitals and schools. None of it happened, and wherever it's gone. So yeah, so Jasmine, just about a nice chilled out evening. Let's Go, sort of having a good time out with the guys partying. But I think other than those two, they're
Yeah.
all a little bit on the heavy side
Yeah,
lyrically.
because I think we know what smoke is about.
Yeah, I mean, Smoke's about it's my sort of I suppose sort of teenage years really. Each verse in that relates to something that happened in my years as a young guy. I mean, one of the verses it's about it said, I heard it on the morning news, you've got nothing we could do, blah, blah, blah. And that I actually woke up to, I was out with one of my friends one night. You all right? Yeah. I was out with my friends one night and he set off for a last ride on his motorbike before he went to bed. And I woke up to the news next morning that he'd been killed on that ride. So that's what that one's about, along with other things. So
Oh,
whereas lots of comes across as being a bit, sort of cheerful, and a lot of it's not really, it's, you know, I mean, some of it's not all doom and gloom, but it's a good way
yeah.
to sort of remember people and a bit of a legacy, right? Well, I'll tell my story about Chris, and it's not going away then.
Yeah, no,
So
yeah, there's some serious topics, but there's some fun stuff in there.
yeah, oh yeah.
So yeah. So for you, like when you were starting the band, like which bands got you into music?
Well, I'll have to go a long, long way back for that. I mean, I was a sort of grew up on the punk scene, so it was all I don't know, sort of the Clash, Ramones, Sex Pistols back in the when I was a kid of sort of 13, started my first band, and then I played on the sort of UK hardcore scene. And then it was probably about 10 years ago when we sort of got the band which became Cyclone together. And that was still sort of punk influence, but also, a sort of 70s rock vibe, and also the sort of California desert stuff like Caius, Nebula, Fu Manchu, were obviously all influences. But I mean, also, I've been a fan of like Hawkwind and Sabbath, since I was a kid. Um, and the reason I got into Hawkwind, I'll tell you this story. The reason I got into Hawkwind, I mean, I was always a punk kid, and when we were at school, I managed to blag a electric guitar, and I swapped it for a few records. As did one of my friends, who was like more of a heavy sort of rock guy. He got a bass guitar. Anyway, after he had this a few weeks, he came in and to school and said, "Oh, we've got this band together, and I've got a demo
Mhm.
tape we've done." I'm like, "Wow," So he gave me a demo tape, and it was really cool. I thought this is really good. So I listened to this tape over and over, and I couldn't believe it was my friend's band. Anyway, it wasn't. It was a Hawkwind tape he'd given me. It was the Hall of the Mountain Grill album. So I got really into that album, and I've liked Hawkwind ever since. So you know, that was the story behind that one.
Yeah, sounds fun. So what's
Yeah.
your process like, Phil, when you're writing the lyrics? How do you tackle lyric writing?
With great difficulty, really. To be honest, it gets harder. I think the older I get, the harder it gets because I'm not particularly angry about anything. Um, I'm not. I mean, typically the punk scene was about being unemployed, being angry with the world, the impending end of the world through the Third World War, etc. There was always plenty to write about, but nowadays it's like, well, I'm actually pretty happy with everything. And but lyrically, that's not a great thing. No one say you're singing a song about, yeah, I'm sitting here in the garden with a beer, reading a book. That's it. It wouldn't be it wouldn't be all that interesting. So that's part of my delve back into the past for stuff. There's one of the another story when I was a kid. It features on Meet Your Devil on the last album. I think it's in Smoke on this one as well. We used to get a lot of sort of oppression from the local Hells Angels because we were all like punk kids and they didn't like us. So one night we decided to play a joke on them, and in the local woods where we live, we they used to hang out there. So one night we told them we'd seen all these devil worshippers in the woods, and they were like, "Oh yeah, well, we're going to go there and kick their asses tomorrow." The Angels, "Oh yeah, cool." So the next night, about six of us we all got pillowcases and cut the eye holes out. We got some burning sticks and things, and where all the Hell's Angels were gathering in the woods, we all sort of walked into this clearing, all chanting them with these burning torches, and they couldn't get away fast enough on the bikes, so so that features in a couple of the songs, and it got into the local newspaper that there were devil worshippers in the woods. The police came to see us, and we were like, oh, yeah, it's going a little, yeah, there were devil worshippers. It was a joke that went a little bit too far, but it was we got our own back on the bikers, so it was pretty good.
That's a cool story. So yeah, the album, Warp Vision. I want to show the artwork, and we can talk about the artwork of the album. It's pretty cool
Yeah.
artwork. So yeah, first, tell us a little bit about what you were trying to convey with this album artwork.
Well, first thing, it's a guy called Kidder Björlin who has done
Yeah,
the artwork on all four albums. Is a really,
yeah.
really talented
You
guy. I
guys
mean,
like color. There's a lot of
we,
colors in all your album covers.
well, yeah, that's kind of a deliberate thing because there's a lot of just sort of black and white covers, that
Hmm.
bands put albums out on this scene. So it's sort of a deliberate thing, really. We don't want to just follow that, similar sort of mold. We want to, have a bit of color. So normally with Kidder, I'll ping an idea to him, and he'll come back with one of his ideas, and it'll just go backwards and forwards. What about changing that? In this one, what about putting a pair of headphones on the guy? And the red eyes and the smoking the cigarette, and Kira sort of, he has a lot of the ideas himself. So basically, we said, right, we want to have a guy on the cover, and we want to have his head sort of something strange going on, to show there's a lot of warpedness going on in there. And to be honest, most of this is Kira's ideas. So again, it's going from the sort of very sort of dystopian sort of grey on one side to the multicolours on the other side. So it's a good sort of contrast. Also
Yeah.
stands out on a shelf in the record store.
Oh yeah, I know. If you see this, it's gonna stand out. And the
Yeah,
name of the record, Warp Vision. Tell
yeah,
me, uh, what do you mean by like with the album title? Because it's a cool album title. So tell me
yeah.
a little bit about the story about the album title.
Well, I think it sort of goes back to the songs. They're all sort of things that have gone on, but some of them got a little bit of a twist of not the truth, shall we say? So that's the sort of the warp vision, if you like. It's what we're seeing, but sort of twisting it a little bit. It it wasn't actually the initial album title. The initial album title, I forget what it was now, but the record label weren't overly happy with it. There was nothing wrong with it. It was quite. I think it was something in Spanish, which it was something about Firebird in Spanish, something Fuego, and I can't remember what it was now on the record label. Said, well, it's quite difficult for everybody to remember.
Okay.
So yeah, so Warp Vision was the one that we all liked and decided on. Again, it was I think the album title came last. I think we got the songs written and recorded first, and we're like, right, we need an album title and some art, so let's work on it, and that's what we all liked and came up with.
Yeah, no, it's a cool album title. And yes, the album artwork definitely stands out in shelves. So this has been out since September, like almost a month now, a few weeks now. So you said that the reception on the road was great for the new songs and everything. Like, so on this album for you, do you have like which is your favorite song to play live? And the other question would be, which song was the hardest to write and why?
Okay, well, the one I enjoy playing most live are it's perhaps at the moment I'm enjoying playing Topanga. I mean, bearing in mind this album's only been out 2 weeks, so this will change on a weekly basis. At the moment, I'm enjoying playing Topanga because it's a nice sort of sleazy riff. I'm also enjoying playing Jasmine, but Jasmine, it's quite a handful for myself and Martin, the guitarist, to play live. There's a lot going on in that song, and we're jumping on and off, fuzz pedals to clean through it and bits of wire. And obviously, I'm trying to remember the lyrics as well, which are still new, so I'm forgetting them. So it's a difficult one to play live, but it's going down really well. Magic Carpet's also going down really well. The last song on the album. I quite enjoy that one because I don't play a lot on it. In the jazz guitar parts, I sort of stand back and it's Martin, Scott, and Isaac playing. I'm just going to stand back and wait for the vocals to come in. But yeah, and the other question, which was the most difficult one to write?
Yeah.
I'd say none of them really. I mean, they all once the ideas start coming, they flow, and then we get the basics of the song, and then it's I might wake up one morning thinking, you know what, that'd do for let's have a stop in that one there, sort of stop for a couple of seconds, this sort of thing. So it's just like the structures, if you like, which take a little bit longer, and it might be that we're not happy with that part of that song. Let's grab something from this idea we had previously and try that instead. So none of them were difficult to write. The lyrics are the hardest thing to write.
Yeah, and you mentioned something that no one has mentioned in my interviews. You said that the new lyrics, it's hard to remember them when you go play them. So
oh yeah,
I have a question for you because I've never asked this to any musician because no one has brought that up. But what do you do to remember the lyrics? Like,
I make them up on the night as with the new stuff. I'm usually thinking while I'm playing the intro, right? What's the first line for this song? And if I can't remember, to make something up.
yeah, because I'm sure a lot of musicians will put like earplugs and maybe they have like something where they can hear maybe I don't know the lyrics because I'm guessing when you have so many albums and especially depending on which type of band and how many drugs or stuff they have done, like it would be hard to remember. Like
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, with the older albums, it's obviously it's a lot easier because we've played them so many times. But with the new stuff, we're only 2 weeks into play. Before this tour, we'd only actually played 2 shows with the two new guys. We played at Desert Fest London and we played at Stone from the Underground in Germany in the summer. So we'd only played 2 shows. So it was literally a brand new sort of band going out on the tour. So at the start of the tour, it was all, a little bit rusty, but it gelled better each night. Towards when we got to the last day of the tour, it was all, everything was really cool. Everyone knew everything except me with the lyrics. I was still making things up. But yeah, I mean, going back to sort of, you were saying about what's the most difficult part to write. The lyrics for me are the hardest part to write. I might write a lyric for a song, and by the time it's actually on the album, it's probably version 10 at least. At least 10 times I've gone back and changed the theme or changed. Yeah, I'm not happy with it. And on the last album, we were in the studio and we recorded one of the songs. And by the time we'd actually heard the song played back, I thought, well, those lyrics are okay, but I've got a better idea which will fit the theme better. So I actually rewrote them in the studio. But yeah, if I want to get it right, I want to make it the best I can do. And if I sort of put out some records and lyrics I'm not really happy with, I've got to not be happy with that because that record's there forever. So I want to do my best that I can. And I'm no John Lennon or Paul McCartney when it comes to writing lyrics, but I do put a lot of effort into it.
have you thought in the future of like saying like fuck it, I'm doing instrumentals?
Yeah, well, that would be nice. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it would, but I mean, I've got to admit, if I go see a band that's just instrumental, I lose interest very quickly. I like to
Yeah,
hear
I know.
some lyrics.
I've seen, I've actually interviewed bands that are just like instrumental bands, And sometimes I find it like it's harder for me to interview because like, I can't ask them about lyrics because there's no lyrics or themes of the song. So yeah, I have to ask them
Yeah,
about different stuff. But yeah, to me, I have to be in the mood also because to me, I don't know, I like songs. I like to listen to people singing and like a structure. So yeah, I agree with you on that part. Even though if it's a pain in the ass uh, to write lyrics, was there any song in this album that you like wrote the lyrics like really fast to and that was like okay, this was a breeze to get by?
I think Jasmine was fairly quick. Uh, Smoke was sort of fairly quick because I knew the content, but I just wanted to find out to put it, to fit with the music.
Mm.
Um, Cut Loose, I got the theme for that, so that was fairly swift. Um, but yeah, I mean, none of them were too difficult, but say the version you're hearing is, sort of version 5, 10, 20 maybe. But one of the more interesting ones was Magic Carpet, and that was Martin, the new guitarist. He came up with the idea for that. We played it in the rehearsal room a couple of times. And I went off on holiday to Spain earlier this year, and they recorded it in the studio, and they sent me it through on a clip. And as soon as I heard it, I just got the Magic Carpet Ride. I got the theme for it, so I actually wrote some lyrics on my phone, kept them, in the notebook, and got home and listened to the song and finished it. So that was an easy one. It just sort of came to me as I was sat in the sun with a beer and a book.
Yeah. Awesome, man. So I know you already did the tour, but what are for the rest of the years, what are the plans for the band?
Tomorrow we've got an in-store show at the local HMV Record Megastore in our home city. So that's gonna be quite fun. So we actually put quite a lot of effort into that one. After that, it's chill time. Maybe start thinking about some stuff for the next record, but no sort of heavy timetable. Just chill out and see what happens. Really, I think we're all looking forward to a bit of downtime because obviously 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks out, on the tour was pretty sort of intense. When we're doing a lot of driving each day and then having to get to a venue by a time, loading, set up, sound check, sell merchandise, drink beer until ridiculous o'clock every night. I think a typical night was about sort of 3, 4 a.m. Even though we planned an early night, yeah, let's get to bed early tonight, and then we'll look at the watch and it's sort of three
You were
thirty
like,
again.
just one more
Yeah,
drink.
yeah. But the Ben from Slamosa was a bad influence. It's got to be said.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
I'm sure, man.
yeah, so it was a bad influence. One night in particular, we said, "Oh, it's an early night," and Ben wanted to go. Oh, there's a bar down there. So we all went to the bar and stayed out till late again. But a lovely guy.
Okay.
To be honest, all the Greenleaf and Slamosa band members and their sound guys, merch guys, drivers were the best people we could have hoped to have spent a couple of weeks. But everyone was so
Greenleaf is a
friendly.
cool band. Yeah. Yeah.
Greenleaf are great. I mean, I've known Tommy anyway a while, and we played with Greenleaf in the summer at Stone from the Underground. So, and I also we knew Slamosa for a couple of years, but not as well as we know them all now. And it was just it was a real nice time. Everyone was so friendly, and it sounds cheesy, but it was like one big sort of happy family by the end of it. And everyone was. Well, the last night we had to leave before the rest of the bands because we had to be back in the UK. So we went to say a quick goodbye. The goodbye lasted about 2 hours. By the time everyone had, said, I love you, man, and see you next time on this. So yeah, but yeah,
That-
genuinely great people.
yeah, that's a long ass goodbye.
Yeah, it was.
So where can people that want to get the album right now physically can get it? Like,
Where can they get it? Well, they can get it from Bandcamp. If they go to either our page or the Magnetic Eye Records page on Bandcamp, they can buy it. It's got worldwide distribution, so you can go into a lot of record stores around the world and buy it. In the UK, it's Plastic Head, the distributors for the album, so that's you can buy it anywhere. Is the
okay.
answer. pretty much, it's not difficult to track down. So wherever you are, you can find
Yeah,
it.
I'll put the link somewhere below so people who wanna buy the album physically. So before I let you go, Phil, like I know you like a lot of like stoner rock and stoner metal. Like
Yeah.
like if you were stranded in a desert island, but you could pick 5 records, which 5 records would you take to that island and why?
Like Desert Island Discs. Well, my favorite album of all time is London Calling by The Clash. So that
Great
would
album.
definitely be that would definitely be with me. Um, I would take Machine Gun Etiquette by The Damned. I'm not a massive fan of The Damned, but that record's one of my favorites of all time. I would take, hmm, let me see. I'll take Hall of the Mountain Grill by Hawkwind. Uh, Caius. I'm not sure if it'd be Blues for the Red Sun or the other one, which is one of my favorite. I can't remember the name of the album. I'd have to take the album with Whitewater on. So that's 4 and 5. I'm just looking at my albums up here. I don't know. I made a settle with 4. I couldn't pick just 5. I'd have to take a compilation. So I think the 5th one would be a compilation album that I put together myself from all my sort of tunes.
That's
Oh, then
a
again,
good way to take more music with you.
yeah, it'd be on a USB drive as well. So
Yeah,
it'd be
yeah,
a thousand
awesome.
tracks, thousand tracks compilation.
That sounds good. So Phil, thank you for taking some time to chat with me. Finally, we could connect, and we were like trying to say the times we were like having difficulty, but finally we could connect. So I would recommend the album World Vision to anyone who likes psychedelic stoner rock. There's some great fuzzy riffs in this record, and it's a fun record. But now we realize that there's some serious topics putting with the fun. And now everyone knows that Topanga is not about the boy meets world character. It's about it's probably that's like the most like serious subject on the album,
Yeah, it's definitely got its darker side, shall we
the
say?
darker side. So yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah. Phil, I want to thank you, for taking some time from joining me from England to my couch here in Puerto Rico. So, anything that you like to say to the fans before we go?
Buy the record,
That's
which
it.
which which by the way is number 1 on the Doom charts for the whole of October. The new album,
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the Doom charts, which is put together by the reviewers, journalists, bloggers, radio hosts worldwide. So it's within our scene. The Doom chart is the biggest chart, if you like, because it's put together by all these guys. It's not just people buying. It's actually votes. Yeah. We're actually number 1 on the Doom chart for the whole of this month. The new Slamosa album made number 2. So we mentioned it on the tour because Slamosa were headlining the tour. So we mentioned a couple of times that their album was only 1 behind us.
Friendly competition. You're like,
Yeah,
we're number
yeah,
1. You guys are right there, but not quite. That's
yeah.
good.
But it was all good fun. It was all light.
Okay.
So
Sounds
yeah,
awesome. So man, hope you have a good show tomorrow at the HMB. What you're doing, and after that, just good that you're going to chill the rest of the year, and hopefully, when you guys put out a new record, maybe we can have you again here on the couch.
yeah, definitely, yeah. And I'll be on time.
Yeah, that's
I won't be
okay.
late next time.
I had my issues myself. So until next time, couchers, this is Hector, the shield dude on a couch, and we'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.